A small story about the Langi. The Langi believed in a spiritual being called Jok. Jok was a super being, and a wider concept manifested into Jok Lao, who specialized in diseases which had little or nothing to do with demon possession. All demon possession fell under the sphere of Jokman. Other manifestations of Jok included Jokatida and Jokoroa. Though spiritual, Jok was taken as an individual entity, not a particular manifestation. He could sometimes be taken to mean the devil with powers to make people contract diseases or meet undesirable fates. In their human form, these Jogi, which is a plural of Jok, were believed to be in several respects like human beings, for they were mortal, male or female, and their societies were believed to uphold marriage and decry adultery. They were said to celebrate birth and weep for the dead. In their human form, they were said to have long, curly, tangled hair, a black or slightly brown skin, sometimes tarnished by dust. However, they would be different from human beings in that what was fair to them was foul to human beings, and vice versa. For instance, their most delicious food was said to be houseflies. The Langi were not much concerned with the world after death. What was clear to them was that when a person died, the spirit did not die but went to the world of the dead. Now, nothing was known about this world of the dead, except that the souls of the people who had died with grief or died in bitter resentment against their relatives could form alliances with the evil Jogi and acquire power to haunt those against whom they had grudges. Every Lao family had an ancestral shrine where they offered sacrifices to their relevant Jogi. This was important because the evil spirits could possess anyone of their relatives. In the event of such a happening, a sheep was killed to appease the spirit, and a ceremony was performed to drive the evil spirit out of the victim. An evil spirit which stubbornly refused to move out of the victim whenever the appropriate ceremony had been conducted was called Chen. The witch doctor or Rajoha could, however, also get the better of it, and in such a case, he would trap it and deal with it in a pot or a calabash. There was no mercy for any evil spirit which had stubbornly refused to leave the victim peacefully. Once trapped, unless it repented of its past malice and promised to reform, the object in which it had been trapped was buried at the bottom of a swamp, and it would mark the end of that evil spirit. Sometimes, such obstinate spirits, it is said, could even be speared to death. When it was time for sowing or planting, the Langi would invoke the power and the blessings of Jok by a ceremony called Rubokori, which directly translates to mixing of seeds. This ceremony was often accomplished by sacrifice of a sheep or a chicken, the throat of which would be cut and the blood allowed to drip into the seeds. It was believed that in the absence of this blood, the seeds would not germinate.